Hey guys, day 4 of what we're now calling Fired and Free, so we have a name. I'm out here in the garden, got my got one of my pawpaw trees here. If you recall, we were out here the other day knocking down a bunch of weeds and everything back here, and we had a couple of really big comfrey bushes right here, and I guess without the shade, they just kind of wilted. So I was going to come out here anyway and start cutting some down and make a tea out of some of these comfrey leaves. So I guess I have a really good reason to do it now, because it looks like they're going to die anyway. And so I've got my my trusty Home Depot bucket here. And before you ask, no, I'm not sponsored. However, if Home Depot is watching, I'm listening. I'm available. So anyway, I'm just going to cut off a few comfrey leaves here and fill up the bucket. I don't know, maybe 3/4 of the way, tear them up a bit, and then I'm just going to cover it in water, slap a lid on it, and see what happens. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll bring you back. So you can see here, these poor guys are pretty sad. They're really flimsy, really wilted and just damaged by the sun. So I'm just going to grab a couple of big handfuls here and chop them up, toss them in the bucket. And what I'll probably do is, I've got a bunch of other bushes along the line here that I'll take from. That way I don't take all of the ground cover from around this pawpaw, because it's had a rough time. Look at this poor guy. I don't want to lose this, so I'm gonna try and baby it a bit, and maybe even bring some water out here for him, because it's been a while without some rain, and I just took away a lot of its shade. Same with his brother over there. So, yeah, I'm just going to start filling the bucket, and we'll see what happens. So here's another one of my sad comfrey plants, and I'll do my best to manage this with one hand, but basically all I'm doing is I'm grabbing a big chunk, and then grab my pocket knife and just cutting them off as best I can. I don't know if I can do this with one hand, but you get the idea. Cutting them off. I'll just yank a few off here, and then bringing them over here to the bucket, and then just, I don't even know if I need to rip them up, but it seems like it makes sense to rip them up. Like, smaller pieces would break down faster, and you get more goodness out of it more quickly in the water. I don't know. You know, you mash sauerkraut, I figure you might as well mash comfrey, right? It makes sense. So I'm just ripping them up in little pieces. You can see I'm probably going to try and maybe fill up, I don't know, half the bucket and see what happens. And once I've done that, I'll come back and we'll fill it up with water and slap a lid on it and put it in the sun. Alrighty, so I got it about half full. You can see I chopped it up and smashed it a little bit. So I'm just going to fill it up with water and throw a cap on it. You know, I was on my way down here. I thought some of you might not know what comfrey is. If you've never heard of comfrey, it's got a lot of herbal uses. It's probably what it's most famous for. Is one of its other names is actually called bone set. And one thing that people do is, when they have even something as severe as a broken bone or a cracked bone, they'll turn this into a pulp. You know, they'll mash it up and they'll put it under bandages, and it'll actually work to help your body's healing process when it comes to even deep tissue things like bones and healing skin lesions. In fact, there's one study that was done that took bedridden old people who couldn't get out of bed, and they had horrible bed sores. Nothing that modern medicine threw at it could do anything. And they did something with comfrey and applied it to their skin and actually healed their lesions. Something about comfrey is incredibly beneficial to our healing process for skin and tissue. So I'm just sopping this in. Now, this process is going to be an anaerobic process, which means we're not going to let air in. So it's not like we're not going to put a weight stone and let it bubble or anything like that. We're gonna seal this up and let it, and it's going to get real nasty. But yeah, comfrey also in the garden is really useful, because I'll turn it around here, because it's a bioaccumulator. So it's got a really deep taproot that digs down and pulls up all the really good stuff, so that when the leaves fall to the ground and start to break down, they make a lot of things bioavailable to our plants. They're great for companion planting with just about anything, trees especially. You probably noticed the pattern that every single one of my trees had a comfrey plant beneath it, and that's because when I cut the comfrey back and it breaks down, especially if you cover it with something, if it just sits in the air and oxidizes, it doesn't really have the same benefit. But if the microbes and the fungi in the soil get to it and break it down, then you've got something really special there. And so that's why I have comfrey everywhere. And you can propagate it pretty easily if you dig up the roots, the root cuttings, even as small. I planted some pieces as small as that, and I got comfrey root out of it. I got whole plants out of it. You can buy it pretty cheap online, even in places like eBay and things like that. Or if you have a neighbor that has it, they probably have more comfrey than they can do anything with. So if you can turn one plant, a big plant like you saw up there, you can probably turn one of those into at least 20 cuttings, if not more. So that's probably something I'll do here soon, because I need to propagate more, and I haven't done that before, so it'll be a fun experiment. So I've got the lid on here. I'm gonna walk up to a nice sunny spot, maybe shake it a little bit, set it down, and next I think I'm gonna grab some of that lemon balm and see what happens when I pour some hot water on it. I thought I had mint, so I can make like I don't know, what I thought would be a clever mix of mint and lemon balm, but turns out my mint is gone. I don't know if a goat ripped it out or what happened, but we don't have it anymore. So I'm just gonna try some lemon balm. I love lemon, so maybe I'll love lemon balm. So we'll see. All right, I'll see you back here soon. Now while this handsome devil pulls some leaves off of lemon balm stems, I wanted to give you a little bit of information on what lemon balm is. So its common name, lemon balm, botanical name, Melissa officinalis. And in ancient times, it was used to calm the heart and the body. Lemon balm, with its delicate lemony flavor, uplifts the spirit in any culinary dish it's added to, and has been used to sweeten jam, jellies, in addition to salad, and as a flavoring for various fish and poultry dishes, and liqueurs. It's easy to grow. It's a perennial, thriving in USDA zones 4 to 8, and prefers moist and fertile soil, but it can also tolerate drought. Some history and folklore. The use of lemon balm goes back thousands of years to the time of the ancient Romans and Greeks. One of the first recorded uses was as a wine-infused topical preparation applied for insect bites and stings. Greek physicians mention its use in this way, and in the Middle Ages it was used to balance mood, promote sleep, and support healthy digestion, and has been used this way ever since. An herbalist and nun born in 1098 said lemon balm contains within it the virtues of a dozen other plants. According to according to Nicholas Culpeper, the botanist, in 1653, dried lemon balm may be made into a fine electuary, or sweet-tasting medicinal paste, with honey. He wrote that it was ruled by the planet Jupiter and associated with the zodiac sign of Cancer, therefore having an association with the water element and thus an effect on the emotions. He further praises its virtues, saying, "Let a syrup be made of the juice and of its sugar, and let it be kept in every gentlewoman's house. It hath so much purging quality in it, as to expel those melancholy vapors from the spirits and blood, which are in the hearts and arteries." Truer words never spoken, let me tell you. Some of the herbal actions are a carminative antispasmodic, diaphoretic, thyroid-stimulating hormone antagonist. If you don't know what those mean, I encourage you to look up the herbal actions. We don't need to go through them right now. Some uses and preparations: dried leaf as a tea, tincture made into an ointment with fresh leaf or an essential oil, fresh leaf tea. And that was all from mountainroseherbs.com, and I'll put a link in the description. Hey guys, so I think I've got some tea right here in my hand. We'll see here in a minute. But while I was waiting for this to steep, I realized that comfrey is really hairy, and I wish I'd worn gloves. I was sitting here trying to figure out why my hands were so itchy, and I realized it was these little hairs on the comfrey as I was ripping them up. Definitely wear gloves. It's like little cactus hairs sometimes. They get stuck in between your fingers. It's horrible. I know I'm a big baby, but learn from my mistake. So I just wanted to give this here tea a shot and see how we did. So. It's leafy. It's definitely got that lemon in it. I mean, I'd drink it again. I don't know if I did it right, but you know, it seems good to me. And so filled up about half of a jar. There's a little pint jar, and covered the rest in boiling water, and I think it's good. I don't know. Let me know what you do with your lemon balm. Let me know what I did wrong, and I'll see you back here in a little while. Hey guys, so day 4 was a great day. I got to spend a lot of time with my family. We drove up to Gatlinburg, and I don't know the last time we went up there as a family during the week on a weekday, but it's a lot more enjoyable when there aren't thousands of people surrounding you everywhere you go. So it was a lot of fun, spur of the moment thing where we just kind of said, that was actually my wife's idea, so just decided to take most of the day off, but got home in time to do a couple things this evening, so it was a great day. So just remember to take some time with your family when you get a chance. I honestly don't recall the last time we all went out and just kind of casually took a drive, so it was a lot of fun. But no big message at the end of the day, but I'll see you tomorrow. And tomorrow I'm actually going out to my old job to have some lunch with some old coworkers that I haven't got to say goodbye to yet. So I think that'll be interesting. But if they let me, maybe I'll take a little bit of video so you can see my old friends. But if not, then I'll just tell you about it and see how things went. And I'll see you tomorrow.